All right, welcome everybody to a brand new episode of the Hot Mic here on the Outlaw Nation channel. I am the Outlaw John Rocha, joined as always by the Sneider, Jeff Sneider himself. How are you?
Johnny boy! What's up, baby?
What's up, baby? What's up? We got so much going on today. We got so much happening in the world of entertainment here. I'm going old school today wherever I run DMC shirt. Respect. The king of rock, there is none higher. We're going to talk about so much going on here in the world of entertainment. We're going to get some updates on the Acolyte situation. Certainly broke a couple of days ago. Beau Demayo updates, Travis Kelce scoops that Jeff Sneider broke on the Insnider.com there. Also get into some of these trailers and some of this other news that's popping up and going around. And hey, we just got the first reviews for The Crow popping off. So that reimagining, as I would say, we're going to do all of that here on the channel. Streamlabs, Super Chats are open. Send them in. You see Jeff already stretching out, ready to go. He knows it's going to be a big one today. So
getting limber, baby.
Talk to me. How you feeling, man? How you doing? Is your car situation handled? Are you ready to go? Do you feel reinvigorated?
Dude, thank God I have my fucking car back. Holy shit. I mean, I've had cars die on me before, but to just give me a rental with a dead battery and it died 3 times, like, oh, it was maddening.
Wow.
Right. Now, listen, the first 2 times I was really close to a friend's place and he came both times.
Oh, that's nice.
Right?
Yeah.
So he was my knight in shining armor that night, but you think the next morning I'm going to call him again for a 3rd time? I wasn't going to push my luck.
You know, people sometimes do because they understand because they've been there too. You know that, right? Sometimes people do, man. It's okay. What they're going to do is say no?
I was so frustrated by it. I just called him and I was like, you know what? I'm leaving this in the fucking street. Come get a tow. I'm like, call a tow truck. Like, call me an Uber. I'm done.
Oof. Wow. That is not good. Well, Jeff, we are, this is a momentous night tonight. Everything's going off tonight over at the DNC. It even got a mention in a Jeff Sneider column. Very surprising. Shout out to you.
I'm ready about it tonight. The speculation, John. Yeah. Who's the big mystery guest?
I mean, listen, we weren't going to initially start with this, but I just tweeted this out. Let's take a look at this post from the Hollywood Reporter. I want to take a look at this post. I mean, Jeff, attendees are being given light up bracelets similar to those often handed out at major concerts as they show up for the final night of the DNC. My speculation is Beyonce or Taylor Swift. Other people saying George W. Bush. I've even heard Arnold Schwarzenegger. It won't be The Rock, even though The Rock would be incredible. I mean, that's how you come back, wouldn't it be, Jeff, for The Rock to come out? But there's no way he's coming out. Some people speculate CM Punk because he's there in Chicago. But what are your thoughts on that?
Did you say CM Punk? Dude. So I saw some insiders say that it was bigger than Oprah.
Bigger than Oprah?
That's
what is bigger,
which limits the list significantly.
It's very small,
right?
Smaller.
Now there's like, I think the best guesses are Taylor and Beyonce. Obviously, I mean, yes. Could one? Arnold. I think is a good guess.
That's what I think. Arnold. A piece of me says Arnold. Yeah.
One person who I wish that it was, but someone reminded me how completely apolitical they are.
Yeah.
Is the man behind the quote, Republicans buy sneakers too.
Oh, Michael Jordan.
Wow. Wouldn't that be fucking epic if Jordan fucking came out?
That's Chicago. In Chicago, Jeff.
Wait, I didn't even realize.
Yeah,
I didn't even realize it's in Chicago, dude. I am so out of touch with politics, dude.
Michael Jordan, that would be.
Wait, I had that thought without even knowing it was in Chicago. Okay?
Wow.
Because I really think as far as Black Americans go, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't get much bigger. And he's a guy who always stays on the sidelines. And I wonder if this is the time to not stay on the sidelines.
Yeah. Maybe for once, he's this is too important. I do have to chime in. And, in The Last Dance, he kind of walked that quote back a little bit and clarified it. So, it might not be a wild guess, and maybe it is a much more accurate guess because you're right. There's not that many people that are bigger than Oprah. Michael Jordan would surely qualify for sure. So maybe it's both. Maybe it's Beyonce and Taylor, which would be insane. Somebody in here saying Smithy saying it's the Hawk Tuah girl. That could be something for sure. But there's a lot. Kevin Feige coming out to introduce the next phase of the MCU. These are good, Jeff. These are fantastic. Anyway, all right. Should we get into the show? Yeah, you're distracted all of a sudden.
Let's do it. I'm not fucking distracted. Let's do it, baby.
All right, let's do it. Let's get into things here. Let's start off first with the big. Reminder: Streamlabs Super Chat. Send them in. You want to hear from us? Send them in. Streamlabs Super Chats. We'll read them on the air. Let's deal with this one first, Jeff. The Acolyte is no more. This was broke by Nelly Andreva over at Deadline. Lucasfilm is opting not to proceed with the second season of the Star Wars offshoot, The Acolyte, starring Amanda Stenberg and Lee Jung-jae, Carrie-Anne Moss, host of Daphne Keane, a host of other fantastic actors who were part of this one. Word of the decision comes more than a month after the 8-episode first season from creator Leslie Headland wrapped up its run on Disney+. The show did okay with critics, but it was the viewership that really tailed off after the first 2 to 3 episodes, which had been really well watched. It dropped precipitously out of the top 10 in the week 3, and then staying off top 10 before returning at number 10 after the release of the finale. I broke through a couple of sources that a writer's room, which had been speculated about in February, was actually happening, being put together. It was a very, very strong source. Let's just say I saw some things and some exchanges. And the other one was that they were having conversations or inquiring about availability for directors for season 2 of this thing as recently as last month. But clearly, when there was no announcement at D23, Jeff, it seemed like the writing was on the wall. What are your thoughts, reactions? Are you surprised at all?
Well, I mean, I don't really pay attention again, so I didn't know what was going on or when the show ended. Really, like I'm just I don't. Anyway,
clearly didn't get you as a viewer. So yeah.
That is true. So someone reached out about your tweet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And John and I have not had this discussion.
Well, let's have this discussion.
Okay. No, you're totally right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like it's not really a big deal. The way that it's described to me is that like every big show, you know, puts together a writer's room, right? In advance, and they have like a soft green light. Right.
Not every show denies they were doing that. So go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I don't know what Lucasfilm did or didn't deny. I mean, it's one thing to issue denials to bloggers. I mean, right. I don't know. I didn't see any quotes, but anyways, I think that a lot of big shows put together those writers' rooms and reach out to directors in the event that they get that green light. They have to be ready to go, right?
Yeah. Right.
Like that's what the green light is. It's okay, we're going.
Yeah.
Whereas, you
all right?
Yeah. No, it was just a door that slammed loud. Okay. You always gotta be careful in Los Angeles. You hear a loud sound,
They finally found you. They finally found you.
But you can't wait, right, until like everything's over and the last episode to air to then say, oh, we're going to do another season, because then that season has to be written, made, done, and it takes fucking 2 to 3 years.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you're absolutely right in the sense that, that stuff was together.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was part of it. That's where we started, right? Was your tweet.
Well, yeah, we started about were you surprised by the cancellation? Is the
right, and I don't know,
yeah.
Was I surprised? No, I mean, yeah,
fair point.
I mean, Amanda Stenberg is a weird choice to me to lead a show of this magnitude, quite frankly.
Yeah, but I think it was the writing. I mean, it's really tough because Manny Jacinto was able to stand out from the show. I thought Daphne Keane acquitted herself well. I thought a number of the actors acquitted themselves well throughout the process. So you have to ask yourself, well, what happened here with Amanda, who a lot of people felt was not up to snuff to lead the show? So
no one knows who any of these people are, and I realize that like Star Wars is the brand, and it doesn't need big stars necessarily.
Yeah. Like
but
Jodie Turner-Smith was great with the limited screen time. So yeah,
I'm just saying all these people. You're naming people who know the average person does not have any idea who they are.
Fair enough. Carrie-Anne Moss was good. People know her, but yes, fair point.
So I just think it's a huge investment. Like I was, and we're going to talk about this later in the show, but the Chick-Fil-A streaming service, right?
Yeah.
They announced the $400,000. They're going to do reality TV for $400,000 per half hour of reality TV.
Yeah.
I follow this account on Instagram called Atlanta_filming. Okay. And they said that Andor, for 1 minute of Andor, costs $550,000 when you break it down. Yeah. Right. So it's just like these are super expensive shows, and unless they're hits, unless they're surefire hits, you don't bring them back. Like I don't care. Oh, did you invest? Did you put in your time? Yeah. If not enough people did, then we're not making a second season, and that's really what it just boiled down to. Because I'm told that there's no hard feelings on Leslie's part.
Yeah.
Because she got to make the show that she wanted to make, right? Like if this was I'm told, you're smiling. You don't think that's true?
I'm just, you apparently get tweets from texts from people about my tweets. Apparently they're more knowledgeable than
everybody's watching you, John Rocha. Everybody is watching you.
Good.
At all times.
Good. Watch me, motherfucker. I don't need access to any of you. I don't care.
We don't even. This isn't an access thing.
I don't have to change who I am. Down. Well, I'm just saying. I'm not follically challenged and fear access to producers or studios or directors or actors. I don't need to wave my Rolodex in anybody's face. I got my own connections and my own way of doing things. And not being afraid of the studio is my way of doing it.
I don't understand. You're 100% correct in basically everything that you tweeted.
Yeah. But keep going, brother. Keep going.
Hold on. Let the follically challenged among us compose themselves.
Wait, I wasn't talking about you. You're not follically challenged. You're still there.
Who are you talking about?
Keep going. Just keep going.
Anyways.
No, I don't know anybody's watching me, for God's sakes. They're watching you. Go ahead.
Stop. Anyways, she got to make the show that she wanted to make, and I think at the end of the day, she has to be happy with that, right?
But she didn't. That's the thing. She didn't get to make the show she wanted to make. It's very clear. One of the writers, Claire, I can't remember her last name. She came out and said how Filoni had notes on all the scripts and got involved. This was that transition time between
every show has notes. I mean, what do you think you're just gonna? You're Leslie Headland. You're not fucking David Fincher. You're not fucking Christopher Nolan. What are you talking about? Of course you're gonna get fucking notes.
Fair, but she's also, she's had she had a couple of hits under her belt with Russian Doll and so. I mean, she had some cachet, but I personally, from what I saw, from what she pitched, the show she pitched us, and from what we heard behind the scenes about how they changed the show from what it was supposed to be, which she had pitched us a very dark, Sith-led murder mystery show. That is not what we got. And so to me, it absolutely feels like a clash of tones and a clash of too many cooks in the kitchen. And it doesn't feel like Leslie was able to do exactly what she wanted to do. And so I don't subscribe to that theory that she got the show she wanted to do. I think that's bullshit.
Okay.
That's my opinion. I'm not saying you're right or wrong, Jeff. I'm saying it's my opinion. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, it's possible that Leslie Headland feels that way, but I don't get the impression that there's like hard feelings on her end or that she feels like she got screwed.
Fair enough.
I think everybody is aware going into a process like this that they have to make certain compromises.
Sure.
But the viewership, I'm told, basically collapsed after episode 2. Sorry, not season 2, but episode 2. And whereas Andor, kept going, it kept climbing. Yeah, and that's really the difference. And if people watch the show, there would be another season.
100%. I think that's the thing at the end. And by the way, I'm not one of those people who subscribes to the theory that Disney should have kept going with the show. If you don't have the money and the viewers aren't there, that's the last thing you're going to do. And I also think that people who are out here saying this is a movie that represented people and represented, I think that's great. But if people from those communities aren't even watching the show, then what the hell is the point? That's the thing. Too many people want to just go at the studio or go at the exec or the creators. But I think blame here, you have to spread it all around. It was
what communities are we talking about? The LGBTQ communities?
I'm talking LGBTQ. I'm talking Black community. I'm talking Latino community.
Okay, so you're talking about they're not watching the show, right?
Exactly.
Because the show was made for them, right?
The show was in essence representing them.
And don't you think that's the show Leslie Headland set out to make? Not the show Lucasfilm was chomping at the bit to make.
Are you trying to win the point? Can't we just say that we agree to disagree on this?
Oh no, we can agree to disagree. I'm just saying you're offering evidence that supports my argument that she got to make the show that she wanted. Wait,
she got to cast the people she wanted to cast. Show you want to make is script based, story based, character based, and I don't think what we saw character wise and story wise is the show she.
I didn't watch the show. So I can't argue it nearly as passionately as you can because I literally have no idea what I'm talking about from that standpoint.
That's fair. But yeah, I mean, at the end of that's the thing. Too many people are saying, "Oh, it was the incels, or it was the anti-woke people, or it was no." People across the board weren't watching this show, and if people across the board were watching this show, it would have been successful. Andor is Latinos like it's come on. There is diversity. You know, Mandalorian, right? Pedro Pascal is a Latino guy. Like there is diversity. So if the show is good, people will watch. So but I mean, that doesn't excuse the fact that there is a terrible toxicity in Star Wars. I'm just saying people just want to blame these other things. They got to look at their own communities. They got to look at their own fandom and realize people didn't see this show, didn't watch it, weren't interested in it, and that's why it was canceled. You know,
and I think it ultimately costs too much, right? For the viewership,
$180 million. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
you know, so that plays. That obviously that's the most significant factor at the end of the day.
Yeah. With Andor, it was struggling, and Disney put a lot of effort behind it. Put it up on ABC, put it up on ABC Family, trying to get people to watch on Hulu. And then it got prestigious awards. So I think Disney had a lot more faith in Lucasfilm in Andor than it did in The Acolyte by the time it all went down. Okay. I just don't think Leslie deserves all the blame. Like, I'm just trying to make it clear. Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't deserve the blame. I mean, the audience is ultimately to blame. They didn't show up, and maybe that's a marketing thing too. That's as much. I mean, if she's to blame, then marketing's to blame.
Sure.
But again, if the viewership did drop off, then they did have the viewers maybe at first, and they just didn't like what they saw. So in that sense, you know, I don't want to say, well, who else is to blame, because you're saying, well, there are other cooks in the kitchen there, and I'm sure that there are, right? Obviously, you know, a notes process on anything like that is significant, but
yeah. And that's the thing. At the end of the day, where are the original scripts? What was the original intention? We'll never know.
There's just a line, though, right? Don't you think there's a line between a notes process and like, hey, you got to make compromises, and also like meddling? Right?
Yeah. Yes.
And you're suggesting that line was crossed into meddling?
Yes. And that's what I sense. Okay. And that's what I'm feeling, or what I'm kind of tacitly hearing, is that there was meddling to change it, to make it more younger, to make it more YA, and to not make it more dark. And that is why you got the mishmash of styles. When you watch the show, there's such a mishmash of tones that it doesn't make sense.
And I'm sure a lot of that is based too on like fucking Disney Plus data and like the notes, you know, like literally the viewership statistics that they're seeing signed up for the service. You have to make the shows that, you know, for the people that are there.
Yeah.
And you're right. They didn't show up for it. So I don't know. Is there anything else about the situation or Star Wars, Lucas, whatever that you want to discuss?
Yeah, real quick, man. Do you think they're gonna pull this thing like they pulled Willow? Like, a lot of people are freaking out online that they're going to pull the show completely off streaming. They've been talking about some of the merchandise has been pulled, but I think it's more that the merchandise is either sold out or wasn't selling, so they ended up taking down the links, or the links go to dead sites now because that stuff isn't up there. There's not a lot of Andor stuff being sold right now either. So you look at the situation. Do you think they would pull this? Disney can delete the show to avoid paying residuals for the series. And like we said, or like I just said, there's precedent here with Willow, what they did with Willow, which really pissed off the creators. So do you think that they would do that to save themselves money at this point and risk the PR backlash? Because a lot of people did come out and defend the show and say that it was heartbreaking that the show was canceled, but probably more people than saw it. But like your thoughts.
All right. You ready? You ready for this answer? You ready?
Please.
No.
Oh, you don't think they'll take it down? Okay.
No.
Okay.
Because I'm literally staring at my Alex Cross collection. Okay? Now, I don't buy any other James Patterson books, right?
Are there any?
I did. He comes out with a book literally every like 2 weeks. It's unbelievable.
I know.
Okay. Now, what if I were to buy a Michael Bennett book? Okay.
Okay.
And I have one of those. It's real easy to take that book off my shelf, and I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Okay. If I have 22 books or 32 books or whatever in the Alex Cross series, and you take one book out, the collection's incomplete.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Lucasfilm or Disney will mess with that. I mean, I don't know what kind of residuals there are, but it's not like there's any giant A-lister who's like getting huge points. I mean, I just can't imagine them disappearing a piece of Star Wars history, knowing how passionate and easily riled up that fan base gets.
Yeah, true.
Whereas in Willow, it's a lot easier to just say, you know what? Let's just fucking pretend that never fucking happened.
Yeah. I do want to clarify this. Mr. Brown says, I think Amandla did a lot of damage to the integrity of the show. She actively attacked people, which was really shocking. No, she defended herself to the attacks by making a song that addressed those attacks and put it back in their face. Amandla Stenberg, I thought, was unfairly vilified initially before the show even came out. And for her defending herself, she should not get crap for that.
Racial Draft Podcast. Thank you very much for that comment. I feel like I landed the plane on that metaphor. I really could have stumbled over my words there, but I thought I stuck it.
Yeah, that's a great point with the but I mean, and unfortunately it was a touchstone for a culture war here. Even Elon tweeted about it being canceled. So
dude, I mean, a minute ago, if you'd asked me the same question, I might have said a different answer, John. Yeah. Right? I was just staring at the books. So it's so hard to just imagine them poof, you know?
Yeah.
For that thing.
Right. And why would you offend a creator, which could offend a creator down the road who wouldn't want to work with you because you would do something like that? It's very possible, those kinds of things as well.
Once it's out of the bag, it's out of the bag. Like,
yeah. But I do want to ask you one last thing, because connected to my tweet, if they were talking to directors as recently as last month, what changed in the last 3 to 4 weeks?
When did the show end? I have no fucking idea.
8 weeks ago. The show ended 8 weeks ago. 2 months ago.
Okay, so that literally explains it, right?
Okay.
So like you have to wait for the viewership data to come in. So if the last episode was 8 weeks ago, then they have to give that 4 weeks to see how that episode performs.
Okay.
You know, maybe if there's a big spike in the finale, then they're like, well, wait a second. You know, but that may have given them second thoughts. But if literally nobody even gives a shit after it's been on the platform for 4 weeks, then
yeah,
I think that's exactly what it is.
So so they were hedging their bets, probably talking to directors just in case. If the numbers come back great, what's your availability, that kind of thing. That's understandable. I think that is understandable for sure. But I mean, I do want to ask one last thing though. Dude, I keep hearing from people that I know that they're going to slow down production, maybe even pause production. I mean, does that seem like this is where they're going, that they're going to take a step back and be like, okay, we need to look at everything now and decide a new game plan going forward? Do you think that's possible? I'm just throwing it out there. Can you say anything on that?
I don't know. I mean, I literally have not I will be honest. I've not discussed that.
Okay. All right.
I've not discussed anything like that.
Okay.
Possible that's being, that's not being mentioned in certain conversations, but
yeah. Okay.
I would say that there's a lot of stuff that they're working on that you have no idea about.
Ooh. Okay.
And I'm gonna. It's not that I'm going to get into it in the newsletter tonight, but like I am going to, talk about a big thing with Acolyte that we haven't discussed here that I told John off camera and I said to save it. But and
I respect.
There's I just think, like always, like there's a big shroud of secrecy around stuff, and it'll be announced when it's ready.
Fair point. Fair point. I just have a feeling that they're going to pause production on everything, including the movies, and after Grogu and Mando and Grogu, and reassess things and what they're going to do. And for the first time ever in my mind, I've started to really conceive of the possibility of a certain person leaving. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's move on to some Beau Demayo stuff here, man. Let's
not gonna happen for a while, John.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point. Here's the guy, Beau Demayo. He is firing back at Marvel's claims over his situation and Jeff's story. Here, his lawyer, Mr. Friedman, he said here that my client never sent lewd videos and photos to his direct reports. That is a bald-faced lie and defamatory. Notice that he said to his direct reports. That's an important part of the sentence there. No one who reported Beau to HR received an inappropriate photo or video. That is simply untrue. As a proud gay black man, Disney knew exactly who he was and what he stood for. That's why they did not tell him to stop his OnlyFans page. They let him be himself, which allowed his creativity to thrive. When they objected to his free speech rights and not complying with the legal NDAs, a certain person over there tried to replace him because he was becoming more successful than other creators. That is a hubristic statement. Ask Disney if his separation agreement illegally silenced him. Let me know what they say. Don't print this crap. It's wrong and defamatory. And of course, Jeff, we talked about this last week. Is this just bluster and chest thumping from Mr. Friedman here, the lawyer, the attorney for Beau Demayo, or do you think there is more to coming out that will indict him in essence in this situation? What are your thoughts on the reaction here from his lawyer?
I think he's doing what any good lawyer would do, which is fight for his client, and that's why Brian Freeman's one of the best attorneys in town.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, what a very calm statement, very politically worded statement to make sure you don't get into trouble. I respect that, Joe.
Why don't you read Liam Morrissey's quote?
Okay. Is he in here? Here we go. His agent has been threatening everyone this week with lawsuits. Oh, fair point.
But
yeah.
Right. But what if I say that's not true, Liam Morrissey? And I leave it at that.
Oh, you're saying it might not be true that his agent has been threatening everyone this week with lawsuits, is what you're saying.
I certainly haven't been threatened by anybody.
There you go. Go. And Jeff had the big break on the story last week. So, yeah, fair point.
I haven't had any discussions with anybody about anything. So,
yeah,
I don't understand where that's coming from.
It seems odd to me. But I mean, this sentence is,
would you say, John, that there are certain people who can maybe be bullied or threatened and other people who can't, and maybe the people know better? I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. It's a good point.
But
I do think this sentence is important. My client never sent lewd videos and photos to his direct reports. That doesn't mean he didn't send them to people who he didn't directly report to. So that's
John, let's paint a little illustration for the viewers. Okay, imagine a pyramid. Okay, a triangle. Beau Demayo's at the top of the triangle because he's the head. Yes. And then there's two people below him, and those are his direct reports. Right? And then beneath those two people, each of them have two people.
Yes.
And then beneath those two, there's 4 people and 4 people and 4 people, and so on and so forth. I don't know how big the pyramid gets.
Yeah.
So all that Beau Demayo said is that I never sent anything to the direct reports.
Exactly.
There's the whole rest of the pyramid.
That is lawyer speak, bro. Lawyer speak to say.
Another good metaphor, I believe.
I agree.
So I don't know. Listen, I'll put it this way. I hope that Beau Demayo gets his day in court with Disney. I mean, his fight is not against me. I mean, I don't know why he'd be mad at me.
Right.
I didn't do anything. I think his fight is with Disney, and I hope that he gets his day in court, and that justice is served, whatever that justice may look like, for both him and anyone who may have felt victimized by him.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a way to phrase this or this email that Friedman wrote that would completely have exonerated his client, saying he never sent lewd videos or photos to anybody employed by Disney during the creation of X-Men 97. That's how you do it. And when you say no one who reported Beau to HR, so he clearly was reported to HR, received an inappropriate photo or video. So you're parsing out where it's convenient to parse out. And so,
exactly.
As someone who had many debates, I know exactly what this is, what he's doing.
Exactly. No one to HR claimed anything about a photo. Okay, but there were other people who didn't go to HR who claimed things about photos. So.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at. So, all right. Well, anything more to say on this that you've heard in the wind, or anything more that you want to speculate on? I mean, because
I said my piece. I said what I had heard. And I have not heard from anybody.
Okay.
And I'm sure you guys will know when I do, if and when I do. But I don't think I deserve to hear from anybody. I don't think I don't think I really did anything that the trades or Disney itself didn't if not necessarily right, at least speculate towards with the way that they worded things.
Absolutely. All right, let's take a quick break, Jeff, and we'll jump into some more stuff on the other side of this right after this.
What the fuck is going on outside?
You okay? What's going on?
Sorry, did I just swear over the ad?
Yeah, it's all right. You already swore earlier. No big deal. All right, but let's move on to this one that was in the title as well of the show. What's up? It
sounds like somebody's like banging like a steel drum in the hallway or something. I don't know what
Kevin
the hell is going on
outside your door. Stop dropping shit.
Right. He's like, get a mariachi band over there. Dude, are you hearing this?
No, I can't hear it at all.
Anyways, okay, I'll ignore it. I'll be a goddamn professional. Unlike last Friday, apparently, according to every comment on the fucking YouTube video. Holy shit, you guys. God forbid. I'm like trying to figure out what's going on in my car before the fucking dealership closes for the service department closes for the weekend.
People just want you to be 100%.
I'm not used to podcasts. At Friday at 5:30, the time was like changing. I was...
Wait a minute. Don't fucking...
I take responsibility. I'm not blaming John. I take responsibility for being late, but holy shit. These people are like, Jeff, you're so unprofessional. Like... It's like, dude, John, first of all, John can handle the fucking show himself, number one. And he could have waited a little longer, too.
If I had known about the damn thing, I would have waited. But you didn't text me to let me know you had car issues, or I would have totally pushed the time. It's just a big confluence of events, shall we say. But let's move on. It's water under the bridge. J.J. Abrams has re-signed with Warner Brothers, Jeff. What the hell? Right as Lord and Miller are battling with Sony, you kind of spoke about this in a newsletter, but I want to touch on this. Lord and Miller, why in the world would you have a fight with Sony Animation where you have had such great success with the Spider-Verse movies over a Spider-Man noir situation? It seems to me that this is about something more than just one title. And Sony is, quote, not expected to renew the deal with Lord and Miller, which did, however, deliver 2 seasons of another pricey show, The After Party, which was okay, but not certainly a big deal for them. So why is this going on? Are Lord and Miller trying to get out of this deal, or is Sony trying to get out of this deal? What's the situation in this battle? It cannot be over the budget of Spider-Man Noir, for God's sakes.
I have no idea if that is that what it even was speculated about.
Yeah, that's what's being reported in a number of places, that it's about the budget.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, it's MGM, right? Is this MGM Plus? Like, is that who's doing it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Right. So, like, what the fuck do you guys think the budget is for an MGM Plus series? It's not the Prime Video budget, I don't think.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm sure that they are maybe trying to cut corners, and Lord and Miller are like, wait, if we're gonna do this, like, we want to do it right. We don't want to half-ass it.
Yeah.
I mean, then again, I'm sure these guys are difficult too. I don't think that they are any, day at the park.
I don't know. I mean, I think they creatively know what they want to make, and they're very clear about it. And I think
that's what the studios hate more than anything.
Yeah. That's 100%.
Someone with a clear, concise vision.
Because they don't have a clear, concise vision.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think I saw your speculation in your newsletter, and I got to push back because I don't think they're in a danger of becoming difficult people to work with as a reputation. I think it's more a matter of, because their results are incredible. I think it's more a matter of the fact that they're they have a belief in their vision that's very strong, and that seems to unsettle some executives at studios who aren't so strong in their beliefs and their visions. It seems like to me.
I like Lord and Miller as artists. Like I'm a fan of the work that they put out, and that's all that should fucking matter at the end of the day.
I agree.
don't really know them on a personal level.
Yeah.
But I think that a lot of really talented creative people, such as myself, are difficult.
Yes.
And I think that these guys are more likely than not, at least a little difficult.
As you touched on last Friday. Yes, I agree. You are a little difficult sometimes as an artist.
Oh, is that? I didn't even watch the first 19 minutes of the show. Was John cursing me out? Jeff's like, "Oh, where the fuck is Jeff? I told him to do this fucking show." Is that what you said?
Nope.
Follically challenged motherfucker.
I did not say that. Again, I wasn't talking about you.
Yeah.
No, I actually was just saying that I hope he comes on. I'm not sure when he's coming on, but I'll just read his article because that's what we're going to be talking about.
Jeff's going to be there. Jeff shows up. He may be a little fucking late.
I know.
He may be a little fucking stoned, but he's gonna fucking be there.
I didn't doubt you. But what about the J.J. Abrams side of this? Jeff, you and I have spoken about this on the show. My man essentially stole money from WB, and now he's re-signed.
Is this the dumbest company on the planet?
You wrote about the Paramount situation.
I called it. No, what I did is I called it because I said that deal is expiring, and you watch Bad Robot's just going to fucking shove a million things into production to make it look like it was busy this whole time. And it's like, J.J. Abrams, look, I went out and I got Glenn Powell and Jenna Ortega. What more do you want from me? This is like two of like the five biggest young stars. I went and got them. We're doing fucking Flower Vale Street with Ewan and Anne Hathaway in IMAX. Like, there's been a lot more Bad Robot stuff going on. Because it's like 2 minutes before the homework is due and he's cramming.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me. Like, no, I've been working the whole time. Daddy came into the room and you're like, no, look, I've been doing the book report, or I've been doing my essay.
He had 2 shows killed, right? Basically.
Yeah.
Which he it's not like he wasn't doing anything. He was working hard on those shows, and at the end of the day, they just passed. They were too expensive. Demimond was going to be pretty fucking expensive.
It was like $200 or $300 million, right? It was like
more. I was going to say more expensive than Acolyte.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that was a significant commitment, not based on any IP that anybody really knew, like the way that they knew Game of Thrones or something.
But do you think Lord Miller are just trying to get out of this deal? Like, do you think they're not going to get out, because obviously it's going to play out this year and then it's done. But like, them not wanting, do you think it's true that they don't want to re-up with Sony? Do you think that it's kind of damaging their brand to do stuff with Sony, or do you think they want to try something new with another studio? What do you think's going on here? Because it would be the second studio in a row, right, after what happened with Solo, where there's issues here at the end of their time.
Depends on whether Lord and Miller perceives Sony as the one sort of driving the negativity about them and projects. You know what I mean? Like, is it Sony's Pictures Animation with all that animation stuff?
Yeah.
Being like, listen, it wasn't us. We're not the ones who treat the animators like shit. It's fucking these guys that we hired who are geniuses, but they're monsters, basically.
Right.
I don't know if they think that it's Sony that is behind that kind of shit.
Right.
And behind, fucking with them on this, Spider-Man noir series. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Or they don't think that the studio stood behind them hard enough in those situations. That's
right,
possible.
exactly. You never know where hurt feelings are going to fucking come from in this industry. It may have just run its course, and they're going to finish out the Spider-Verse movies and move on. But yeah, I did speculate. I was like, listen, if you're fucking daddy's ass and you're making hires like James Gunn to run DC Studios, like this guy's never run a fucking studio, right?
Right.
Do you hire fucking Lord Miller to run WB Animation?
Where would you want them to go if not WB? Do you? I mean, because I tell you, Lord Miller Batman would excite the hell out of me, or Superman, or Wonder Woman, any of those DC animation working with James Gunn. That'd be that'd be a fun way to revitalize it. But I mean, Netflix has got a really strong animation side to things. Yeah. Prime Video might be opening the door to this kind of things. What are your thoughts on that?
I think any place would want to be in business with them. I mean, I wonder if they'd make a deal with Apple after working with them on the After Party.
Oh.
Although you know, I thought that show was just okay.
Yeah, first season was better than the second season.
I don't know, like, but the sky's the limit because they can do anything.
Right.
You know, and let's see what this Project Hail Mary movie looks like. Right, with Ryan Gosling. That's going to be their first movie in how long, John? Do you know?
What, live action?
If you read the news.
Was it 8 years? No,
10 years.
10 years. Sorry, it was close.
Well, I mean, longer, since the movie's going to come out next year, I believe. So 11 years. 2014. Wow. 22 Jump Street was the last movie they directed.
Well, I mean, they were directing solo. I think that counts when they reshot. If they had to reshoot, 90%.
Counts, yeah, they did direct a version of the movie, but like, are they credited as the director of Solo?
They are not. No, Ron Howard.
Right, Howard got the credit, so I don't count that.
Yeah, all right, fair point. But we'll see what happens with them, and do you think this will affect the Spider-Verse movie coming out? Because already it's been pushed because of the animators union and the whole drama around that. Around that article, do you think this will affect it at all coming out, or do you think this is just Lord Miller leaving Sony basically?
I don't know if it's them leaving or if it's Sony being like, "Yo, these guys aren't worth the trouble. Like, we're not going to re-up your deal." Yeah. The way that it was positioned in the press was that it was Sony saying that.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if it was like a trade carrying water for the studio.
Oh yeah, good points. Yeah,
and someone said, you know, I'm saying Lord Miller, yes, they're leaving Sony TV because that's where Spider-Man Noir, that's where the problems were, and that's where their deal is. But they made the Spider-Verse movies with Sony Animation, right? Yeah.
All right, we'll see what happens. We'll keep tabs on it, see what happens with Lord Miller. I love Lord Miller, and I hope they land in a good spot to create more incredible projects that we can enjoy. Let's move on to your big story, your scoop that you broke here. Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce, also Mr. Taylor Swift in the future here. You revealed exclusively that he is set to star in an action comedy titled Loose Cannons over at Lionsgate. It's heating up, you said, over at Lionsgate. John Wilkelmer, Chad Stahelski will produce under his 8711 Entertainment banner. And veteran screenwriter Tim Dowling who will be writing the script. And as you said, it's described as a two-hander, so expect Kelce to be paired with an established movie star. He's got okay, let's just deal with that. So, Jeff, your thoughts on this? You broke the story. Please take it away.
Johnny boy, did you hear the log line for this? Did you read about it? It wasn't. I don't think I included the log line in my break.
I don't think you did. No, so I'm looking at the notes I have here, and no, I don't have it.
Dude, you're gonna fucking love this, dude.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, it's basically like set in a world where there's financial crisis or whatever, budget cuts happen in the city, and with multiple police departments, and two police departments have to join, become one. They merge.
Oh,
and each police department has a Riggs. Right, each police department has a fucking crazy person, and so these two crazy people are partnered together because no one's willing to partner with them.
Yeah.
And so it's just a movie where it's not Riggs and Murtaugh, it's fucking Riggs and Riggs.
Yeah, look, I like that log line. I thought it was a remake of the 1990 film with Dan Aykroyd and Gene Hackman.
No,
do you remember that film, Loose Cannons?
I never saw Loose Cannons, but no, it has nothing to do with that.
Okay.
It was originally called, I'm told, Crazy and Crazier.
I kind of like that title more, to be honest. But I like this idea. Two rigs together. That's like The Rock and Samuel L. at the beginning of The Other Guys. Kind of that kind of energy and that vibe would be interesting. Two rigs paired up with each other. Holy crap.
I mean, the possibilities are endless.
Sure. I'm concerned though, and I don't. You're probably going to get mad at me for bringing this up, but I'm concerned with Tim Dowling being the writer of this. I mean, his track record is not great as a writer. The Pixels was terribly received. This Means War wasn't good. Night and Day is one of the most forgettable Tom Cruise films he's made. Role Models is probably the best thing that he's attached to, and just go with it. All of these films were like in the 40 to 50 percentile, both audience and critic scores. They weren't received that well. So what's the faith you have that Tim Dowling will be able to write a good script for this movie? I just have a little concern. If I was Travis, if I was on Travis's team, if I was one of his agents, I would have concerns about this approach. Do you think I'm wrong? Is what I'm saying.
I'll say this. What kind of movie is this? I mean, if this is a Riggs and Riggs movie, what kind of movie is it? It sounds like an R-rated comedy, don't you think?
I don't know if Kelce would want to do an R-rated comedy. Do you know what I'm saying? He kind of likes appealing to the 4 quadrants. So I don't know.
You think that that's what this is about? You think you play a hothead cop to appeal to 4 quadrants? I don't think you play a cop at all if you're trying to appeal to 4 quadrants. I think you're trying to appeal to your fucking audience, which is beer-chugging fucking football fans, and you do a fucking R-rated comedy. And if you look at Tim's resume, right, it's a lot of Adam Sandler movies. That shit fucking pays the bills, my friend. But
of course it does.
But what's the R-rated comedy? I'm not sure that it's R-rated, but I'm pretty sure it's R-rated. Role Models, right?
Which is the best thing I think he's done.
Which is a good movie, right?
Yeah.
So if the best thing on his resume is an R-rated comedy, I would have faith that he could deliver another funny R-rated comedy. I don't think that the Sandler movies necessarily represent, his sense of humor. That's him trying to bowl a strike, like right down the middle that appeals to everybody. That's what an Adam Sandler movie is.
He did write that great short, George Lucas in Love, which I've watched on YouTube and thought was great. So I don't want to, totally bash Tim. But I mean, you look at he hasn't written something since 2016, bro. So
I mean, he's sold a bunch of scripts, obviously, that have been in development and have cast attachments. So it's not, sometimes it's just a victim of regime changes and things like that.
I get you. But yeah, I mean, I think it's great that Travis is going to explore this. Normally, I would not be happy with an athlete or a wrestler thinking they can do this thing, because there's nothing more offensive than anyone who thinks they can just pick up and become an actor. It's almost as offensive as thinking you can just, hey, I can catch a ball, I can play in the NFL. It's that kind of thing. You got to have respect. So I like when people like Batista are taking acting classes for years, honing their craft on these small, crappy films as they get better before they jump to the big time. Travis, this is the perfect thing for Travis Kelce. He's naturally funny. He certainly wanted to be part of Hollywood for a while. That reality show he did as a rookie in the NFL. He's got the right face, the right attitude. And his brother Jason is fantastic on camera as well. We're going to find out on the NFL Countdown this season. So I think it's a good situation. Plus, you bring the Taylor Swift people and attention to your movie. So
here's the thing. Here, like, read between the lines too. This is a Lionsgate action comedy. Okay.
Yeah.
This is not $100 million movie.
No,
right. So this is a modestly budgeted film. Yeah. Should it go forward and actually get made? It doesn't have a director right now. Chad Stahelski is just producing it. The director of John Wick. I think obviously it'll wait until the off season. Yeah. Should it go forward and everything, and it's just it's early days on this project, but I think there are so many different ways that you could go with a co-lead. Like you can't go wrong.
Fair point.
Anybody that comes to mind who you would pair as a hothead with him?
I mean, we're kind of out of the Sean William Scott phase of things.
Yeah.
But like, who could be a current hothead?
I mean, if you look at Lionsgate, I mean, now I don't know if Lionsgate would go to him because he just starred in one of their biggest flops, Borderlands, but Kevin Hart.
Kevin makes sense. Of course, right? Kevin makes sense. Yeah.
And that's if you want to do big and little, you could do big and big, and maybe do like Cena. Cena's funny.
Cena
does do comedy. It's just about like how the characters are written.
Do you cast Gronkowski? Do you make it too tight?
No. You do a real actor. You could go get. What about fucking Jake Gyllenhaal doing an action comedy?
I don't know, man.
He's a psycho.
I think he'd be super intense for Travis. I try to be like, calm it down, man.
Hey, it could be anybody though.
Give me a sec. I want to think about this. I actually like the question.
It's a fun exercise, guys. In the audience, let's hear who you would actually like. Bobby Lee, guys. You're not going to put Bobby. You're not going to sell a Lionsgate a wide release action comedy. Come see Bobby Lee and Travis Kelce.
What about Chris Evans?
You need a movie star.
He was a lot of fun when they did the post credit scene in Deadpool and Wolverine. seeing him really let his guard down, of course, in Knives Out. Well, Chris Evans could be an
He
interesting.
might be at the point of the Lionsgate action comedy.
I mean, let's tell some truths here. I agree with you.
I actually, thought of the other Borderlands star, Jack Black. Like Jack Black is just like a fucking hothead.
Yeah. And he's actually not good at his job, but somehow he keeps it. Like he's one of these Nepo babies or something. That could be funny.
I don't know.
To play it.
Jamie really thinks Wyatt Russell would be good, but I don't think he's big enough.
Yeah, I don't think Wyatt's big enough.
Yeah, I think you need like a real like movie star plus Travis. Someone who's going to raise Travis's game a little bit.
I mean, Joseph Gordon-Levitt was good with Eddie on the recent.
Not big enough. Lionsgate's literally dumping a movie tomorrow of his in theaters. I had no idea it was coming out. Greedy people. I wanted to see that. They're dumping it the same day as The Crow.
Yeah.
Dumping 2 movies on the same day.
Oof. Yeah. Kinnaman's not big enough. And I don't know if he'd do comedy really well.
I mean, right. Rudd is a Chiefs fan. That would be kind of funny if
Rudd,
but I don't know if I buy Rudd as a fucking hothead. Like I just don't buy him as a hothead.
What about McAvoy? McAvoy could be interesting. You got to get Gosling. Yeah. Gosling is the choice, isn't it? Gosling can play comedy.
I mean, again, is Lionsgate going to pay for Gosling?
Yeah,
that's what you have to think about.
Those are excellent points you bring up.
Anyways, we can move on.
It'll probably be Aaron.
Dude, this is a good premise for a movie, and they just have to stick the casting.
Yeah, it'll be Aaron Paul probably.
Fassbender.
Fassbender would be interesting, and I think at this point you can get Fassbender. You know what I'm saying? Without having to pay the high prices.
It's just like, look at this big dummy next to me.
What about Andrew Koji? Andrew Koji as a kind of out of the box choice, the guy from Warrior. I would love to see him do something, but again, as you said, it's got to be someone people know really.
A comedy draw, a comedy name.
Yeah. Okay.
Who's gonna put fucking?
It's gonna be Glenn Powell. Get fucking.
No, I was gonna say Rogan. What about Rogan?
Joe Rogan?
No, fucking Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen.
He's a Lionsgate guy. He's a Lionsgate comedy guy. Okay.
Seth Rogen would be interesting.
Seth Rogen and Travis Kelce but like Seth Rogen's always like playing angry or something. I don't.
Oh, I like this choice. I like David Harbour. That's a great choice.
You can go any number of ways here.
Jason Momoa. That's an interesting choice. Those two guys.
I think it should be 2 big guys. Could be funny, or it's Kevin Hart.
Will's already done his thing. I was actually watching the other guys this morning. A little bit of the other guys this morning. He's great. Oh, Channing, dude. Channing could use one. Jeff. Channing Tatum would be an interesting choice.
Right. He played such a boring character in that Fly Me to the Moon.
Yeah.
He could stand to play a character with a little fucking edge.
Especially with what happened with Gambit. Like, he's now in the conversation. He's now people are talking about it.
This is Jamie's big idea. This is great. This is the best one that we've talked about. And this is why Jamie is my guy. Okay, guys? Fucking Riggs himself. That's a Lionsgate move. No. Mel Gibson and Travis Kelce. I don't think Travis Kelce's team would let him do it.
Nope.
No way. But Riggs and fucking Junior Riggs, that would be amazing.
Mike, this is a great choice. Mike Joyce, Vince Vaughn, especially because he's gotten some really good reviews off Bad Monkey.
The Midwest guy.
Yeah, that could totally work. Vince Vaughn.
Anyways, we can move on. We played this game for fucking too long. This is too long to spend on loose cannons, like an early development Lionsgate title that we're announcing. But it's fun that Travis is going Hollywood and getting his big break. So
we've got over 700 people watching us live. Thank you so much. This biggest number we've had in a bit. Thank you for hanging out with us. We appreciate it madly. Jeff, we're not done with the show. We're just at the halfway point. Jeff, let them know where they can subscribe to your newsletter since we have so many.
Sneider.com, guys. I appreciate it. I'm off to TIFF soon, so anything you can do would be greatly appreciated.
There you go.
And if you need a discount, this week's discount word. Give me a discount word, Johnny.
Auto mechanic. That would be a discount.
Give me a better fucking word than that. Give me a noun. That was a noun, but give me fucking a one-word noun.
I don't know.
Zipper is it? Because I saw Zipper, Eric Zipper at Pizza.
Oh, how is Zipper?
A bunch of Schmodown people got together recently.
I haven't seen Zipper in forever, man.
Yeah, I saw Zip, and so Zipper, that is the thing. So DM me Zipper, and I will give you the Sneider special discount.
There you go. And as for us here, please remember to subscribe to the channel down below and hit that bell button. And of course, follow us on all our social media handles, which you see there. Let's move on to this story here, man. RDJ. Jeff, you have been intimately involved in this process, but RDJ is finally talking about the Doom casting here. And dude, this is an interesting comment he made here. Talking with the was it awards chatter there at THR, being interviewed about this, and he said the podcast they have there, and he said so probably a year ago, because Kevin Feige and I have kept in touch. We're pals. Favreau, Feige, and I have kept in touch. I'm close with the Russo brothers. We have other business we're doing. I had this instinct that I wanted to go to Bob Iger and had an idea outside the cinematic universe for how I could be of service to what's going on in the parks or their location-based entertainment. Basically, Robert Downey Jr. was like, how can I put more money in my pocket with Disney and Marvel? He said Susan, his wife, and I were sitting down with Feige at one point, and he said, it keeps occurring to me that if you were to come back, and Susan was like, wait, come back as what? Then we both realized over time that it was another thing that just disproves any doubt anyone could ever have about that guy. He's talking about Feige, a very sophisticated, creative thinker. How can we continue to beat expectations? And he brought up Victor Von Doom. I looked up this character. That breaks my heart. He didn't know who Doom was. And I was like, wow. Later, Kevin goes, let's get Victor Von Doom right. Let's get that right. Then he talks about going to Iger's house and him and Feige going to the Imagineering campus. And they've got something really great planned for Dr. Doom, because that's how you pitch things. And he's a master pitcher. So, Jeff, this has been in motion for a year, which tells all of us who've been watching this Marvel stuff that they clearly knew the Kang stuff wasn't working, irrelevant of Jonathan Majors' criminal issues. Their Kang stuff clearly was not working, and they were already working on contingency plans. This, I think, is a big deal. What do you think about these comments? What do you think about him surrendering this?
First of all, I hadn't heard that quote from Downey, John, where I'm just imagining, Kevin Feige, he came to me, he said, I want you to play Dr. Doom. He offered me $100 million. I said, you, sir, are a brilliant creative thinker.
Oh, and the irony of, he doesn't want to go backwards. He wants to move forward. It's like, by bringing back the guy who made you famous, that's essentially going backwards. But anyway,
I don't know if I've heard a more brilliant idea of me coming back for $100 million. So let me give you your credit. Come on. Yeah, but yes, so if this was going on for more than a year, it's because Doom was always going to be in Secret Wars. Right, he was always the villain of Secret Wars, right? So, John, you're wrong when you say the Jonathan Majors thing, because Jonathan Majors, that movie was the Kang Dynasty until it wasn't.
Right.
But the talks that date back a year with Downey apparently have to do with Secret Wars. So it's only once Majors was out of the picture that they're like, well, shit. Well, what do we do for the first movie? And that's what I said, where it's going to be sort of two halves of one story.
Right. Which is why you bring in the Russos, who did such a good job with two halves of one story within
to do both movies, right?
Yeah. I mean, it just, maybe. I think you're glomming that Doom was already in motion, but they may have been thinking other people for Doom, but with the Kang thing not taking off, they had to go for a bigger fish.
No, I'm saying I don't know that they were necessarily thinking about anybody else for Doom.
Yeah.
For Doom. Sorry.
Doom. Yeah. Not Doom.
I'm stroking out on you guys.
Yeah. So, all right. So do you think, clearly the executives were well aware that it was not going to work out, I think, to have Kang as the main villain. It seemed clear, like, if you're even thinking about Doom, that's because you knew for whatever reason Kang wasn't working. Don't you think? Or do you think Doom was already in motion? Are you trying to say Doom wasn't even in motion until they met?
I'm saying rather than recast Kang, right, and continue with the story that we're telling, if we already know that we're going to get Robert to play Doom in Secret Wars, why not just see if we can stretch that story into two movies, basically?
That makes sense.
I don't know. That's how it sort of feels.
Okay.
Beyonce is the DNC mystery guest.
Oh, I mean, she sang the song to introduce the video 3 days ago. I don't know why it's a big deal that she's coming to be a mystery guest.
Freedom. I don't know if that's how the song goes. That's the George Michael version, right?
I would have expected her to show up. I think Taylor would have been the bigger shock, but all right. It's Beyonce.
I'd delete my Michael Jordan tweet, I guess so. Yeah. I guess he's not coming.
I still go back and watch that SNL skit all the time. I mean, what's her face doing such a great job as that security guard? Come on, Michael, I can't. It's just one night. It's just one night, baby. You got to sleep with him one night. Anyway, let's take a break. We'll get into some more stuff like Chick-fil-A launching a streaming service. We'll be right back right after this. All right, Jeff, how much time you got? Because I want to make sure we don't lose you here before we hit these Streamlabs and Superchat.
I'm good, dude.
Okay.
Let's fucking rock and roll,
okay,
baby.
let's go. Let's talk about Chick-fil-A, brother, man. I don't have any picture for this, so we'll just talk about it. Chick-fil-A has launched a streaming service. Do not adjust your sets. That is actually the truth. Peter White at Deadline breaking this as an exclusive. Apparently, they are moving, Chick-fil-A is, aggressively into the entertainment space with plans to launch a slate of originals for its own streaming platform. They've been working with a number of major production companies to create family-friendly shows, particularly in the unscripted space. Jeff was alluding to that earlier. They have a family-friendly game show from Glassman Media they've been working on, which is here set to, the show has been handed a 10-episode order. And as Jeff said earlier, budgets on the unscripted side are believed to be in the range of $400,000 per half hour. And they're looking to launch later this year. And there's talk of scripted projects in animation. Brian Gibson, who has worked on history's Top Gear remake and Fox's X Factor, has been in talks, is leading the programming charge and has been in talks with various producers. And the article compares it to what Lyft did and what Airbnb did with their programming. So, Jeff, Chick-fil-A, I tweeted out that I thought Candace Cameron, Beret, and Life and Hallmark or Great American Channel kind of cornered this thing. Now it seems like there's more of this kind of Catholic-led, Christian-led, family-friendly content coming from Chick-fil-A. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think you just hit the nail on the head. Is the word Christian? I follow this account on Instagram. I'm really giving them the props today on this show and Campio's show, Atlanta_filming. Right? They said that the first show that Chick-fil-A is doing is rumored to be called The Pastors. Right? A reality show about different pastors down in Atlanta. Right,
okay.
Down south, where Chick-fil-A is obviously a huge, fast food chain. Is down south. You can't get Chick-fil-A, I don't think, up in Boston.
No, you can get it here in LA,
of course,
and San Diego.
We do have Chick-fil-A in Boston. Forgive me, we do.
Right.
It's In and Out that we don't have, but it's a huge fucking chain, right? And so if you have people going through the drive-through, right, all these people every day. Why not just give them a coupon and say, hey, here's 3 free months for our streaming service?
100%. 100%.
And that's what Apple does, right? With buy an iPhone, here, take a year of our streaming service. Yeah. And that's how you do it. That's how you build an audience, because all you have to do really then, because you don't need a full streaming service with a zillion shows where you're spending $18 billion a year on content like Netflix. That's not when people, announce streaming services.
Yeah.
That's not what they're talking about. It's wall-to-wall programming. They license titles and they'll have, all kinds of random shit that is for sale for cheap. Right. But all they have to do really is make back that, production costs and the marketing costs and shit. Yeah. You can do that with all the customers that they get.
Yeah, someone asks here, why not just do a production company? As you know, this is the dumbest thing I've heard. Why not a production company instead? First of all,
what distributors, want to distribute this shit, John?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you want to be in control of your stuff. And if you just do a production company, you've got to find someone else to distribute it. If you become the people who make it and distribute it, you're making money twice over. And you're saving money because you're not having to use a distribution company to do it. That's why sometimes TV studios will stop doing shows that they're putting on other channels and
from outside studio. Yeah.
CBS has done that in a number of times over the years. So yeah, that's why you do it. But clearly, Jeff, they've brought in some heavy hitters to be a part of this. This isn't a joke situation, although you can make a joke. They brought in some heavy hitters here to take a look at the content, and clearly they see that there's a gap. They must have done their research. They must have put out focus groups, kind of asked questions, figured things out, and realized there is a gap here that we can fill if we get the right kind of content going. So it's very
because all these reality shows, right? They're all about hey, can we get these two people to fuck?
Yeah.
Right? It's very not that family friendly. I mean, even like Steve Harvey, like hosting The Feud, will like have a lot of sexual innuendos.
Oh, totally.
You know, like, which, you know, I love Steve Harvey in The Feud, but like, I do see how a really squeaky clean, you know, net streaming service could work.
Yeah, I'm not championing this because they are against the LGBTQ plus community, which I don't like, but you know, so is Candace Cameron Bure, no matter what she says in public. So you see that that's a part of the situation. This is my assessment. And so I get concerned of the stuff they're going to do, but I hear you, the pastors. But, you know, what is this reality show going to be like? Is it just going to be like, oh, everything good the pastors do? Or is it really going to explore some of the other side of things? Probably not. So
yeah, I think it's going to be the pastors helping people, John. It's not going to be the pastors taking off the collar and like going out and like drinking at night and being like, oh, my fucking congregation, man.
I kind of would love that, to be honest with you. But yeah, I guess they clearly saw an opening in the market and they've got money to spend. And Jeff, to me, and I know you hate when I get political, but clearly a lot of entertainment companies are realizing that this quote unquote red state viewer is an important viewer to start courting after having gone so far to the left and to the progressive side of things. We're seeing Hollywood and other companies kind of swinging back a little bit towards the middle and starting to court more of the red state voters, more of these people
to win them back after losing them.
Yeah, exactly.
They used to just make movies for people. And they weren't for people on the left and they weren't for people on the right, and they were just for people.
Yeah.
And now, you know, Hollywood has embraced certain values, which, you know, I'm not against that. And I'm all for inclusivity and diversity and all that kind of stuff. But, I think we were due for a correction. You are seeing the pendulum swing back. And I think this is a correction that the business needs if it's going to survive. You can't just cater to half the fucking country.
It's and survive. No,
this is supposed to be a break from that shit. Okay, so tell the stories by all means. Like, you know, some of these movies, some of these stories being told, you're just like, this is like, who is this for? Right? This may be an incredibly powerful story about suffering or some true hero from some tiny community, but I'm like, how many people are seeing this?
Yeah.
And you have to get back to making movies that people are actually going to fucking see.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, you look at Deadpool and Wolverine. All the walls were down on that one in terms of the illusions and whatever. So that made him $1 billion. It's very possible. Remember, Passion of the Christ made $1 billion. So like, it is clearly there is a viewer. There are a lot of viewers, millions of viewers who want or lean towards that kind of content. I said this on Movie Talk years ago when God's Not Dead or 2 came out or whatever. I said, there is a Christian viewer that is actually a discerning viewer. And if you make good content that is actually good, the Christian viewer will show up. The level of which they were making some of these Christian movies were so low that they were just going, we'll do as minimal as possible, and those yokels will just come watch it. But no, you're smarter if you do better content, more artistic content. Millions of Christian viewers will watch.
People will call me all kinds of names for this, but obviously, like, Sound of Freedom is like the biggest example of that, right? Like that. You know, I don't know how Christian it was necessarily, but like it was obviously marketed to that audience, which has felt alienated.
Totally
was. You can't just be like, well, fuck that audience. You know, like, I don't like their values.
Right.
Like you have to cater to both sides, and that's why Sound of Freedom was such a hit.
Right. Whether you like the film or not, you can't argue that it was
right. They upped the production value. They went out and got a fucking movie star, right? Who that audience knew from Passion of the Christ.
Right.
So I don't think you can argue with like it from a business perspective.
Yeah.
What movie were we talking about at first?
We were just talking about Chick-Fil-A and
making that kind of right. Like Christian entertainment. Yeah.
Let's move on from it. Let's move on. I think we hit we needed to hit on there. What about let's talk about the Hulk Hogan film with Chris Hemsworth. That is no longer. That is done, apparently, officially, according to Todd Phillips in this interview with Variety. Said, I love what we were trying to do, but that's not going to come together for me. And then Hemsworth had said in May of 2024 that it was still in motion, but It hadn't been officially greenlit yet, but he wanted to work on it if there was a great script and story to tell. But it seems like from Todd Phillips' words that this is done. Todd also said there will be no Joker 3. Don't hold your breath. So your thoughts on both of these comments here from Todd Phillips?
These are two totally different things. So when he says there will be no Joker 3, that I believe.
You do believe it. This is it.
Yeah. Now go back to the quote. Go back to the original, the first quote that you read about Todd Phillips.
Yeah, Todd Phillips saying this about the Hulk Hogan film. He says, "I love what we were trying to do, but that's not going to come together for me."
Stop. Right. Exactly. For me. Right. It's just the whole story is just Todd Phillips exits Hulk Hogan biopic.
Yeah.
The whole Hulk Hogan biopic scrapped. Scrapped where? Like, at his company? I don't even know what Todd Phillips' company is named anymore. He's had a lot of different company changes, title changes, but I don't think it's dead. I think Hulk Hogan even gave a quote saying that his life rights are now elsewhere, right? And so when I don't know what was the last thing you said? Hemsworth or Hulk Hogan mentioned?
Yeah, Hemsworth said
a green light, right?
Yeah, he said if there was a green light, I'd get to work on it. Hemsworth said that.
Like Todd Phillips doesn't greenlight movies either. Like I have a feeling that these rights just maybe moved to a streamer or something like that. And like streamers greenlight movies, and particularly Netflix loves Chris Hemsworth. Obviously, I think they'd be kind of crazy not to do this if they could get Hulk Hogan's rights.
Right.
But because it didn't sound to me the way that Hulk Hogan mentioned the rights quote that I saw. I think I was reading IGN's article. It didn't sound like he had sold the rights to Ben and Matt.
Right.
And I also think that those are two totally different things, right?
Like there's totally different movies.
Right, exactly. Like because I think that you can do that story, the Gawker story and everything, and you can do it first, and there's still a Hulk Hogan biopic to be made.
Yes.
And obviously a bit of a controversial figure, but I do think that there's enough love for him out there.
Maybe at Chick-Fil-A.
I mean, I don't know how fucking religious his story is. Is he like
he's a born again now. He's recently become a born again Christian, and that's been, even though he's saying some of the dumbest shit he's ever said in his life recently, with wanting to body slam Kamala Harris and leg drop her. What a fucking moronic thing to say.
Right.
But you're right. There are large sections of the country that still absolutely love Hulk Hogan, show up in huge numbers for autographs. So yeah.
He may cost himself a biopic,
yes.
With everything that he has been saying. He's kind of gone off the deep end. I get that, but I would think that maybe before all this, maybe if you'd asked me 10 years ago, is there going to be a Hulk Hogan biopic? I'd say absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Are you kidding? Yeah. I would have absolutely said that as well. All right. Well, let's move on to some of these trailers, brother. Let's talk about them. There was a Y2K trailer. There was the Azrael trailer, and there was, what's the one you suggest? Oh, the Lord of the Rings trailer that dropped just about 2 hours ago or 3 hours ago. I didn't get a chance to react to it, but I certainly watched it. What'd you think of these trailers? I mean, Y2K, I like Kyle Mooney, don't get me wrong, but this felt like to me like I'd already seen it. What was it, Project X and Superbad and these, and I know Jonah's producing it, and I think Zegler looked completely like miscast in this movie. She is so above this kind of fare. It just seemed weird. But what did you think of Y2K, man?
I thought it looked okay.
Yeah.
Kyle has a very weird sense of humor, which I have known about for a long time. I knew him before he was cast on SNL and everything from his USC days. And I always liked his man on the street stuff. He'd go to like Lakers games and like interview people outside of Staples. And it was like supposed to be super goofy and low budget.
Yeah.
I've always liked his sense of humor. He's very creative. I still don't love her.
Yeah, I know you don't.
I just don't. I just, maybe this is the movie that turns me around on her.
I 100% doubt that this is the movie that turns you around on her.
But I like both of the leads, right? Jaden Martell and who's the other one?
The dude from Deadpool, the Spider-Man, Deadpool.
Julian, right? Julian Dennison. Yeah.
Julian
I think that's a fun pairing. I think Jaden Martell's a good actor. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I think it could be cool.
Yeah, it looked fun, but I wonder if maybe I've aged myself out of these type of films, because I used to love these films in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. You know, like this is the end vibes to it as well. So, but yeah, it didn't grab me like I was hoping it would grab me. But you know, Kyle's a particular taste in his comedy, so maybe it didn't 100% work for me, but it certainly might be a very funny film when it comes out for sure. Where have I seen Jade? Oh, right, It. He was in It.
You know, he's in Knives Out too.
Oh yeah, and Knives Out. I didn't see Defending Jacob, but clearly he was a big part of that because he's Jacob, right? So
he's fucking Jacob, dude. the Jacob from Defending Jacob. Okay,
that's who they were defending. Was Jacob?
You're defending Ghost. What you were defending? Fucking Phantom.
What'd you think of the Lord of the Rings trailer, man? Are you a Lord of the Rings guy? Is that your thing? The war for Rohirrim, whatever it is.
Am I a Lord of the Rings guy?
Did you like the trailer?
No.
Okay. Is it because it's animation and you have an issue with animation, or because it just didn't appeal to you?
Didn't like the animation. I mean, I'm not a Lord of the Rings guy anyways. I did watch the trilogy, and I do think the trilogy is good. Those are good movies. I respect them. But yeah, this with the animation wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And just like story-wise, I was just like, this looks like a fucking Saturday morning cartoon. Like, you're telling me this is a goddamn tentpole? This is supposed to be a tentpole release in December from Warner Brothers?
This is supposed to be a big theatrical. I think they're thinking they're going to get like Spider-Verse reaction to this. But yeah, man, I gotta agree with you. I thought the trailer, I actually like the animation because it's anime style and influence, so I don't have a problem with that. It's weird to clash it with Middle Earth. It's a weird style to use for Middle Earth, so I didn't 100% feel it was the right thing in my personal opinion. But the story itself, I mean, haven't we? I know, I don't know. I don't mean to be mean, but we've seen this overlooked young woman who should be running things has to fight for her place in Middle Earth, and I'm not saying it shouldn't be done as a story. I just feel like I've seen it already, you know, and so I was hoping to be a bit more wowed by the trailer, but I mean, I'm still going to see it. I'm sure it's a well done film, and Brian Cox did a nice job with the voiceover of the main king there. By the way, that's Emma Thompson's daughter who is voicing the main woman there, Hera. That is her daughter who is doing that. That's Gaia Wise, who's Greg Wise and Emma Thompson's daughter. So she's doing that as well. But like the only Brian Cox is in it, and Miranda Otto is coming back. She's the voiceover you hear in the trailer for Eowyn. So that's nice. But like, yeah, I didn't 100% like get dialed in. I don't think this is going to be a massive hit like people think.
I don't think so either. I was thinking about like, what number do you put in front of this box office? And what let me back up. Before you saw this trailer, I said, John, sight unseen.
Yeah.
What is Lord of the Rings anime movie open to this December?
150.
What?
100 million.
You're such a bad box office prognosticator.
100 million. That's what I said.
You're insane. Okay. So never mind. This whole exercise is just completely shot. What do you think it opens to now that you've seen it, John?
Maybe 30 to 40, I think.
I think that would be generous.
Really?
I think that's the high side for me.
Really?
I'm going to say 20 to 25.
Oh, wow.
Excuse me.
Yeah, because, I mean, you have to be really great at animation for it to do well in the box office. Plus, are you sneezing or are you coughing?
Good. Yeah, I'm a double sneezer. It's rare to see the triple sneeze, so that was it. Okay. Show's over, folks.
Well, look, Spider-Verse opened at $120 million. So,
you want to make a bet?
Hold on, but I'm not a terrible prognosticator.
Oh yeah, you are.
This is
yeah, you are.
How? I predicted Black Panther. None of you fuckers had that, and I had Aquaman. None of you fuckers had that. So this situation here with this is just like this is 100. I mean, this. Why wouldn't Lord of the Rings animated film?
I'm gonna give you one more chance. Now that I've said 20 to 25, I'm gonna give you one more chance. Where do you think that this movie comes in?
Oh, I think, probably 20 to 30, somewhere in the 20 to 30 range. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay.
I would agree with that.
We're on the same page now that we've seen it. But yeah, 100. It was this thing was. I never thought this was going to open 100 million. I think it would be lucky to do like 45 to 65.
Wow. Well, because they're dropping it in December, I'm thinking they clearly have a lot of faith and they've done the numbers and they think it's going to be a big one, but clearly it wasn't. I didn't get a chance to see the Azrael trailer. Did you? What any thoughts on that one?
That looked cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I like EL Cats. I told them nobody gives a shit about this stuff. I think it's important. I must be the only person on the planet.
Oh boy, yes.
Who has a poster of Cheap Thrills in his bedroom besides EL Cats himself?
Wow.
Okay. I thought Cheap Thrills was like a fucking B-movie genre masterpiece.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to EL Katz's new movie. I didn't love his second movie with Nikolai Coster-Waldau, Small Crimes, but I am excited for this one. But yeah, nobody seems to give a shit about how much I love Cheap Thrills.
Ah, okay. Well, yeah, you like this. What did you put in your newsletter? You saw two recent ones. What? Drive, Darling, and what was the other one you saw?
Drive, Darling?
What was it called? The two films you saw recently. Night, Darling. What was it called? The two films you saw recently.
Night, Darling. I saw Jackpot.
Strange, Darling. Jesus.
Strange.
I was in the fucking ballpark.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Dude. Anyway, Strange. I saw Strange, Darling at the Collider screening series. I would recommend that movie, but don't read a thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't read a thing. Go in blind. Take my recommendation. Technically.
Yeah. All right. Fair point. Look at this guy. Arpita says, Kodago, broken clock is right twice a day. You wish you were a broken clock.
Your mama wishes she was a broken clock.
Remember, you're watching me. I ain't watching you. Hollow says, Rocha had high hopes for Flash. I had high hopes because I said if the movie was good, it was going to make.
Yeah, Rocha, you dumb bitch.
I know, right? What the fuck?
Do you want to? Okay, so we're on the same page.
Wait. I love all these people commenting. Got every box office prediction right in their lives.
Dude,
I love that.
I almost said that today on Campia's show. How it's always like you could guess 100 things correct, and if you were to guess one thing wrong, that's all you would hear about for the rest of your life.
Totally. Because always at the core of it is they're jealous. They're not doing what you do, so they have to try to take you down a little bit, and that's just part of being in this space. That's just part of being in this space and being a face in this space. What about so the Crow? Let's move to the Crow, man. Some bad reactions to the Crow here. Oh no, wait, Piano Lesson. Let's talk about that trailer. That looked awesome. That August Wilson with Samuel L. Jackson and John David Washington. Did you like that trailer? I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it looked interesting. It was not what I was expecting.
Yeah,
not the stuffy kind of period chamber piece that I was expecting. So I thought it was a good trailer on Netflix's part. I don't know if it'll be like Best Picture winner material, but you never know what could sneak into the lineup. And there are very few like kind of black films, quote unquote, in the lineup this year.
Yeah, but this seems to be a trend recently. Am I off on this, Jeff? You've seen these series, right? Like, God, I can't remember the names of them. Janelle Monáe was in that movie a couple of years ago, where it's like she was in this weird kind of going back to slavery time and modern time. Antebellum, right? And then there was a series on Hulu, I think, where it was a young black woman who was going back to slavery time, back to modern time. I can't remember what it is. So this has an element of that to it. But this feels much more interesting to me to explore and watch it, and unsettling. And I kind of liked that, you know. So
we'll see. Sam Jackson's getting Oscar buzz, so we'll see
for this one. Nice.
Yeah.
I wanted to give one shout out to my brother Andre Holland, who is someone I went to school with at Florida State. We've been in the play together, and someone I really respect and admire. He's got a new film coming out called Exhibiting Forgiveness. If you guys haven't seen that trailer, it's a really powerful trailer. It's a roadside attractions film, but that trailer looked fantastic. So if you want one of these kind of smaller father-son exploration issues, family type of films, Exhibiting Forgiveness from the trailer that I saw looks exceptional. So, and Andre's performance, I think it's RogerEbert.com said it was a career-defining performance he's delivered in the movie. So clearly people have seen it and liked it. So I just want to throw that one out there. All right, so The Crow, Jeff. Hollywood Reporter is calling it sluggish, overly self-serious gloomfest. The Guardian says it's a total heads-in-the-hands disaster, incoherently plotted and sloppily made. destined to join the annals of the very worst and most pointless remakes ever made. There have been 15 reviews, and the comments are pretty much the same overall for the 15 reviews up on Rotten Tomatoes. So are you seeing it this weekend? What are your hopes, expectations?
Well, what was the hot audience score?
I almost put that in the rundown, but I didn't know if you wanted to talk about that.
God, my head would have fucking exploded. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I don't trust anyone's opinion about The Crow. I think The Crow, the original, is a masterpiece. Did I hear anybody else calling it a masterpiece? No. So why would I care what the fuck anybody else thinks about this one?
Okay.
Didn't hear anybody agree with me the last 20 years. No one's ever been like, you're right, Jeff. The Crow is the best comic book movie ever made.
It's not true, but okay.
But it is true.
Oh.
But it is true.
All right. Fair point.
And I'm the only one who thinks it. And I just had high hopes. And I can't even see it this weekend. I'm busy, so I'm out of town. So.
Oh, that's a shame. Jeremy telling us that it's 6% on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
What do we think? Critics were gonna fucking be brave and review this well?
I don't know if people like it. They do.
Yeah, I've heard people liked it.
Really?
I've heard a few people who liked it. So I'm gonna keep an open mind, and I'm not gonna shit talk it unless I come back next week and shit talk it.
Fair point. Yeah, I'll be seeing it this weekend along with Blink Twice, which is coming out, or Don't Blink Twice, whatever it is.
What I mean, other than The Dark Knight, what is the best comic book movie of all time?
Logan. It's not even a fucking question. Logan is the best.
Logan's very good.
Logan's in the top 5. Avengers Endgame is in the top 5. What you just said is in the top 5. Dark Knight. And then that could be a fun one.
Where do you stand on Kick-Ass? Because I think Kick-Ass is like one of the greats.
I like Kick-Ass, but I think it's in the top 20. I don't think it's in the top 10 or top 15, but I think it's in the top 20 for sure. I like Kick-Ass. I do, and I think I've always been a fan of Chloe Grace Moretz, so I like her in that movie. So yeah. Where are you at with Batman? 1989's Batman or 1978 Superman? Do they even list in the top 20 for you?
On the no, honestly, probably not. Certainly not Superman. Batman maybe, but I was always a Returns guy. So Batman Returns to me is like a top 5 kind of a movie.
I think Batman Returns is better than 1989's Batman. I agree with you on that.
Jamie, shush. Jamie really wants me to advocate for Superman. I'm not a Superman guy.
1978 Superman yet?
Christopher, I was too young for that, dude. That's like a different. You have to be. And then none of my friends were either. None of my friends are like, "Oh my god, Christopher Reeve's Superman's amazing." None of them. Yeah, it's not
sorry. It's because they're all drinking behind the fucking Dunkin' Donuts. All right, let's take a break. We're gonna get into some Streamlabs and Super Chats as we wrap up our conversation here on all things entertainment. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Remember to subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Jeff's newsletter at theinsider.com. We'll be right back with your questions right after this. What's he pushing for now? What's he trying to push for now?
Shut the fuck up, Jamie. Goddamn show over here.
All right, let's get to it. Philly Cox and Philly 19057 says Brian Cox is the latest actor who has spoken out against comic book movies. He stated TV shows have been thriving with storytelling while movies have been stuffing with the same stories being told thanks mostly to Marvel and DC. Yeah, I thought it was a bullshit quote. I thought it was an old man complaining who probably doesn't go to the cinema anywhere near to the level someone should to make a commentary about the status of movies. Do you think his, what is he, almost 70 something plus ass is going down and watching all the independent movies that are coming out? No. And so I thought this was, sure, let's old man grousing on the hill, but I don't think there was a lot of validity to what he said. What do you think, Jeff?
This was who again?
Brian Cox, when he said this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's just like a grumpy old guy who loves, basically playing the character that he was in Succession.
Yeah. I interviewed him once. He is crotchety, but a lot of fun to interview for sure. All right, let's move on. Mike Joy says, Jeff, how can you say that Alien 3 is better than Romulus? I just watched it for the first time, and Alien Cubed was so meh.
Dude, this is like an insane opinion. I could read text that I have from replies to my tweet, okay, where people are like, dude, you're spot on. You're nuts. Alien 3 was directed by David Fincher. Alien Romulus was directed by Fede Alvarez, who's a good director by all means, but he's what they call a David Fincher wannabe. Okay. Wow. I don't understand. Like, this is night and day. There's no question in my mind, given the last 15 minutes of fucking Romulus, that Alien 3 is a superior movie. No question.
I disagree, but I appreciate his point. This is young David Fincher, still wet behind the ears, and the studio went in and re-edited that movie. Even Fincher came out with a director's cut because they re-edited that movie. So Mike Joy says, what's the fastest you've gone from delighted to excited to see an actor in a movie to going, oh no? Mine was Holt McElhaney in Alien 3. Oh, geez, I forgot he was in that movie. Holy shit.
That whole cast is stacked.
I agree. The cast is stacked. Charles Dance.
People you just recognize from like that thing. There's a bunch of that guys. I listen, Alien 3 may have been the first Alien movie that I saw. Okay, it may have been the first Alien movie that I was exposed to just by virtue of how old I was and what was on cable at the time. So I'm always going to have a soft spot for it. I don't give a shit what David Fincher thinks of it. Everyone's like, well, David Fincher hates it. Well, okay, so David Fincher has to love if he hates it, you have to hate it? I don't understand. He loved Mank. Do you have to love Mank too?
I love Mank. All right, let's move on. Mike Green says, hi, Jeff and John. If you go on the Ticketmaster site, you'll see tickets for $95 for TIFF. What movie is worth $95? Really? Is it one ticket, $95?
I mean, maybe for certain screenings and certain seats.
Yeah.
Right? That are like close to the stage and close to the celebrities who are going to be there.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. But yeah, I mean, they are certainly more expensive. I would have guessed in like the 45 to 75 range a ticket. 95 does sound high, but it's TIFF and it's tough times. So you never know.
Max Law said, do either of you have a personal favorite time of the year? I'm asking because I love fall film festival season.
I mean, yeah, obviously that's the most glorious time of year. We're about to get like 80 good movies dumped upon us over the last 4 months. I don't understand why Hollywood insists on doing it this way rather than spreading out the product, because there's been 4 to 9 good movies this year.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't understand that strategy, but it's going to be a great fall.
Yeah, what will Sneider be seeing at TIFF this year? Do you already have a lineup of what you're going to see?
No, anyone who goes into a film festival with a plan is a dummy. You got to ride the lightning at a film festival. I mean, listen, I get the 10 tickets, right? They're going to give me 10 tickets. So I have to pick out what those are going to be and then build the schedule sort of around that. But I think you got to be open to discovery, and you don't want to just commit. You want to be like, oh, well, I heard this is good. I heard this sucks. Why am I going to go to? Well, but I made a fucking schedule before the festival started, and this was on it. Okay, but if you heard something is better, why waste your time? Who gives a shit?
It's true. Oh, by the way, my favorite time of the year, Max, is winter. I love winter. Winter's my favorite time of the year. I love bundling up. I love layering. I'm a big winter guy.
You are?
Oh yeah, big time. I hate the summer. I hate the sun.
There's no winter. What do you mean bundling up? We're in California. What are you talking about?
It does get cold here the closer you get to the beach and the border, buddy. I hate to break it to you. It gets cold here. We get into the 50s.
I mean, it gets chilly here. You know what cold is? What?
Please.
Hey, the East Coast.
I'm from the East Coast, brother, but your blood thins out the longer you're here. You'll see. You'll see. You'll see. Steve_Martin says, Nancy Meyers posted the trailer for her daughter's new movie, Goodrich, last week. And in the comments, someone asked Nancy if she will be making more movies soon, to which she replied, quote, doesn't look that way. Has Nancy really retired? And what are your reactions to this? Yeah, Jeff, is Nancy Meyers retired?
Nancy refuses to adapt to a new world.
Oh.
Okay. That's why. Because Nancy Meyers only knows how to make Nancy Meyers movies.
Gotcha.
And Nancy Meyers movies are too expensive these days.
Yeah.
So you can either get with the program and, make a new kind of Nancy Meyers movie that doesn't have the fabulous kitchen, but has the half fabulous kitchen.
Yeah.
Then we can make your movie, but not at the prices that she was doing it before.
And she's not coming back to do the Parent Trap sequel, right? So...
And
I'm
still crying about it.
Right, the Freak Friday. Yeah,
I'm still crying about that.
Well, look, I mean, Parent Trap, What Women Want, Something's Got to Give, The Holiday, It's Complicated, and The Intern. That's a hell of a run, Jeff. It's not super amazing films, but those are solid
good movies. Oh, absolutely. And the stuff is, she did with her husband, Charles Shire. I was talking about her literally last night. I was talking about Nancy Meyers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who sort of have stopped directing or, because they refuse to change or adapt. These are the kinds of movies I make, and if Hollywood stopped making them, then I guess I've stopped making movies.
Yeah, she hasn't done a full feature since The Intern, which is almost 10 years ago, 2015. So, damn, that's a shame. I loved Nancy's stuff. That was always fun. All right, let's keep going here. Mike McKenzie, hey guys, did you check out the Secret Level trailer for Prime? Is there a game story you want to see adapted in that format? Yeah, go ahead, Jeff. Did you see it?
No, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. I was just gonna say, can we wrap up by 6?
Yeah. If we power through these, so
power, baby, let's power.
All right. So I would say I did watch the trailer. I thought it was cool. Game story stuff is really interesting. I've always thought the samurai one, Ghost of Tsushima. I thought that should have been adapted into that format. I think there are not a lot of Assassin's Creed ones, the God of War as well. So there are a few of those that could be adapted in that format for sure. Hell, wouldn't you want to see the Spider-Man games adapted in that format? That could be a lot of fun. Or even The Last of Us if they kept going. Matt Sinister McCall says Beth Snyder saw 11 to cast Paddington for main role and torture scene. Also, allegedly, Beau tried to convince cast to drink windshield washing fluid. There you go. Damn it, Manny says, hey guys, big fan. I was wondering if John, you had the chance to react to the new Amazon Prime show Secret Level from the creators of Love, Death, and Robots. Looks awesome. 15-episode anthology. Yeah, I'm being more picky about my trailer reactions. So I didn't get a chance to react to that, but I did watch it. So we'll see what that is. And by the way, for you 80s kids, the new Hair Metal trailer for Paramount Plus that's coming, that documentary, definitely watch that trailer. And the new Frasier Season 2 trailer is out. Louis Catazales says, hey, John and Jeff, will the Crow be better than Alien Romulus? I love the original Crow. I just hope the new one is entertaining. Jeff, will it be better than Alien Romulus?
We'll see Sunday night. That's when I'm planning to see the movie. Nice. We will see.
You should do an out-of-theater reaction. Put it up on TikTok. Buffalo Dobby says, hey guys, wanted to get your opinion on an interesting debate I had recently. Out of the big 3 franchises, Star Wars, Marvel, and DC, which do you think will be the most successful 5 years from now? Appreciate all you guys have done and continue to do. My guess is DC right now, brother. But I mean, if those Secret Wars movies get pulled off, then Marvel becomes the lead. What do you think in these 3 5 years from now?
Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel still? Okay.
Yeah, I if you're asking me, Jeff, here's $10,000, and who do you want to invest in? I'm gonna say, and you have to pull out your money in 5 years.
Yeah,
I'll say Marvel.
Okay, fair. I will take a chance because I like to risk, and I'll say DC. Green says last week you guys went 2 hours. I love a man with stamina. Hello. Joe says, hey Jeff, just want to say thanks for talking about the One Piece casting in your latest newsletter. Keep up the great work.
Yeah, no, I don't watch One Piece. I didn't really know what I was talking about on that one, but I always try to cover the popular shows because obviously want to give readers what they want in the newsletter, and if they care about these shows and they're watching these shows, then yeah, I'm going to update you on the cast.
Yeah. Give them what you want. Eddie Aladia says Scott Eastwood for Cyclops or Hal Jordan? Neither. What would you put Scott Eastwood for, Cyclops?
Ask me next week.
Whoa, nice little tease.
No, there's no tease. I'm seeing. I think I'm going to check out 1992.
Oh, okay.
Which is Ray Liotta's last movie.
Matt Sinister McCall says Beth Snyder, J-Lo will not be in Rings of Power. No, you're right. She will not be in Rings of Power. By the way,
J-Lo?
Yeah, J-Lo. It's a joke. Beth Snyder, not Jeff Snyder. It's a joke.
It's like what?
Shout out to J-Lo, who of course filed for divorce from Ben Affleck. We will see what the fallout of all.
Shout out J-Lo. We're with you, girl. Stay strong.
I mean, dude, it's got to suck to do a whole documentary and album about finding love with Ben Affleck, and then you're divorced within the year of that documentary coming out.
Dude, that's the documentary I want to see. This is me now. Jennifer Lopez sitting on a fucking couch eating ice cream. This is me now. Calling Casey Affleck being Casey. You want to come over and hang?
Eating a whole pint and then shoving the Ozempic in.
Listen, Jennifer Lopez, if you don't want to have your heart broken, you don't date alcoholic playboys, okay? Get yourself a nice Jewish boy.
Oh, yeah, from the same area? No, thanks.
Get yourself a nice Jewish boy who can do the accent that you like.
Oh, Jesus. By the way, someone chimed in that there are 2 Chick-fil-A's in the Boston area.
Yeah. No, there are.
Kirby Crisco says, big fan, love you both. Thank you. First time catching live. Awesome. Just want to show some support. Keep up the great job, guys. Definitely. Fig tipped. Thoughts on Glenn Powell putting his name out there for Batman and saying his take would be more like Keaton's. Do you think Gunn could ever go in that direction? I fucking hope not. There's no one who looks less like Bruce Wayne than Glenn Powell, or makes me think less of Batman than Glenn Powell. So, Jeff, what do you think? Do you think he would be a Batman?
No, it's just like it's too easy. It's too lazy. I know that he's following everybody now, but I don't see it. I don't know.
Hal Jordan is the choice.
Seems like a trap. I mean, yeah. This whole career is a trap.
Yeah, what's he doing this Hulu series where he's playing the Peyton Manning character from when they faked going on to a college team to audition? It was weird. I don't know why he's doing that. And
yeah, he looks definitely like a 35-year-old guy.
I know what I'm saying.
I mean, they gave him a big prosthetic nose too. I was like, I mean,
he does not look young.
It's like Tom Cruise nose.
Let's see. Fantastic. Is off of the Travis Kelce news. Who is the best / favorite NFL player who became an actor? I'm going with Bubba Smith from the Police Academy movies. Ooh,
love Bubba Smith. It's a good choice.
I mean, Jim Brown, no. Fred Dreyer, maybe. Remember, The Rock played in. Oh well, I guess he didn't get into the NFL. Carl Weathers, he played for the Raiders, I believe.
Was the guy from Revenge of the Nerds? Didn't he play? The big guy, the huge guy.
Ogre?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Did he play football?
Don't remember if he played football.
He'd be my pick.
Okay, all right.
If he did,
I'll go with Merlin Olsen. I like Merlin, Merlin or Alex Karras from Webster. I like that idea. All right, let's keep going here.
Was John David Washington in the NFL? The Racial Draft Podcast has that. My friend, that was called a television series. George Clooney is not a real ER doctor.
Oh my God. What is the Racial Draft Podcast? I gotta know. Max Law says, any logline plot details for Dakota Johnson and Adria Arjona's relationship comedy? No, but I'm interested. Jeff?
This was about Adria Arjona and Dakota Johnson.
Yeah, relationship comedy. Is there any?
Yeah, it sounded interesting. It's from the guys who did The Climb. Did you see The Climb?
Yeah, I like The Climb.
I like The Climb too.
Yeah.
I thought that was like just a really interesting scenario. If you guys haven't seen it, track down The Climb and don't read too much about it. It's about two best friends and the woman who comes between them, if you will. Literally. All
right. Hey, let's go forward. Max Law says, thoughts on the Megalopolis trailer quotes controversy. Oh, yeah, that's the trailer we didn't get to, but it's fine. The same as the other trailer before, but the quotes controversy, Jeff, they fabricated quotes. Why the fuck would you do that? And do you think they did it on purpose?
I mean, you definitely didn't need to fabricate negative quotes. There are negative quotes about every movie, so you can definitely have just found them, but they weren't maybe from like the most famous people, right? I think it is kind of gross. Like I said on Campy Show today, it's kind of gross that they stuck words in the mouths of dead people who aren't around to say, right? But even like if I'm Owen Gleiberman at Variety, right, who used to be EW's critic, if I'm watching that trailer, I'm like, wait a second, I didn't fucking write that about that movie. That's not what I think of this movie.
Yeah,
like, I would be pissed. It's almost. I wonder if he has like some sort of legal case, Owen Gleiberman.
I was going to say it's character assassination, because to me, if I wrote a review and you misquoted me in your thing without asking permission to use my stuff, I would absolutely sue you. And the last thing this movie needs, which is barely hanging on with its budget, and Coppola's house in Hawk here, is to be sued. So why would you fucking
nobody's getting fucking sued? You know, like Owen Gleiberman has enough respect, I think, for Coppola. I don't think he would sue him or Lionsgate, and I don't even know if they're to blame, because again, who did did you see that there was a story a few days ago that Lionsgate brought in help for Megalopolis?
Oh wow! Oh yes, I did see that.
They brought in Utopia.
Yes.
Kind of interesting that story was 5 days before the release of this trailer and everything. I mean, obviously, someone at Lionsgate they're responsible at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's their movie, and they should have had like an intern fucking fact check these things, unless it was on purpose, which it pretty clearly seemed like it was. They instead, if you had just released here's trailer 2 of Megalopolis, that trailer matters for like 20 minutes. Okay, this got 3 stories, John.
Yeah, it's true. That's why I think it's on purpose.
Megalopolis trailer hits. Megalopolis is using fake quotes.
Yeah.
Megalopolis apology from the studio.
Yeah.
Fucking trailer gets taken. It's just like fucking one story after another.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. Brilliant marketing plan by Lionsgate. Couldn't have been executed better. The press did everything it was supposed to.
Yep.
Played like fiddles.
Yep. Absolutely. That's what I felt like it was on purpose. There's too many people in the process of making a trailer who have to approve it for it to nobody would have caught it. That's bullshit.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah. Oliver 3748 says, not a Star Wars fan, but all this news about the Acolyte makes me want to watch it. I love Amanda Stenberg and Amanda Jacinto is sexy as fuck. Have a great weekend, guys. Well, Oliver, watch it while you can. It's on Disney.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you are going to watch it, I think you safely have a month, right?
Yeah.
I think it'll be up there through Emmy season.
Yes.
Anything could happen once the Emmys go, right? Because
true.
Right. And unless, right, was it eligible this past year or is it eligible this coming year?
I think it's eligible for this past year, right?
Okay.
Oh, no, I guess this coming year because
when did it debut?
It debuted 4 months ago. 4 months ago. So maybe
I'm not exactly sure, but
you better make sure you're about to host an FYC podcast. You better make sure.
I guess so.
Let's keep going here, man. Lights, Camera, Super Action says, hey, fellas, clearly both of you love sports. What about a hot mic NFL fantasy football league? Even the Avengers cast had theirs. Count us in if you do. I don't have the time. Jeff, I can't even be a part of the Pie Gal. I might not even be able to be part of the Pie Gal by the time that rolls around in a couple of months. As Jeff said, all these movies coming out and stuff for 2025. I'm going to be stacked, man.
I mean, listen, if you guys really want to do a hot mic league, I could put it together. I'm in like 6 or 7 leagues already. So it's like I'm not pushing for it, but if you really wanted to, and like 10 or 9 people at least start tweeting at me or jump in my DMs or whatever.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'll gladly be a co-manager. I can't be a manager. Sam,
one lucky listener / viewer will be able to co-manage a team with John Rocha.
Because
I couldn't do it. I'm too competitive because I couldn't risk like making decisions with somebody else and then losing. And I'd be like, we should have started so and so in week 4.
I want to be like a council, like because I have 8 teams I play every year, so 8 leagues rather. So I would be like, hey, if you need, I can be counsel for you. So
is that why they call you the octopus?
That's one of the reasons.
8 leagues, John? Damn.
Yeah. 8 leagues.
One of the reasons. Oh my God.
Fantasy basketball as well. 8 leagues. Samo says thoughts on the new Rotten Tomatoes audience rating. Yeah, I think we both are on the same page on this. Like, what? Weird. But I guess they're trying to circumvent the criticism that they're getting, Jeff. So,
dude, Rotten Tomatoes is not a good company.
Mike Maver says, do you think a Beverly Hills Cop 5 looks likely? Maybe. Yeah. Max, what do you think? 5? No? Yes or no, Jeff?
What?
No? Beverly Hills Cop 5, yes or no? Maybe.
No.
Okay.
No, I think we can let that one lie.
I agree. Max Sloth said, I saw Exhibiting Forgiveness at Sundance, a powerful drama produced by Derek Cianfrance, one of my favorite indie filmmakers. Okay. I liked it.
What did he say?
He saw the one I was talking about with Andre Holland. He saw that film at Sundance and liked it. So nice. Yeah. It looks good.
Oh, wait. Freaky Tales.
What is
Freaky Tales? That's what he's talking about.
No, he's talking about, I saw Exhibiting Forgiveness, which is the Andre Holland film that I was saying people should watch the trailer for at Sundance. He says it's a powerful drama produced by Derek Cianfrance, one of my favorite indie filmmakers.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. All right, fine.
Lucia Supercamera Acción says Salem's Lot will finally hit Max in October. Any chance it might sneak into theaters for at least a week, a la Glass Onion, Knives Out mystery? No. Max doesn't do that. Do you think they would do that?
Which one?
Salem's Lot?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
Oliver 3748 says, what happened with Fede Alvarez? I was blown away by his Evil Dead remake. He really dropped the ball with Romulus. I never thought I'd see the day an alien movie became a generic teen slasher. Shake my head. You do realize you're one of the small number of people who didn't like the movie. The movie is 80 to 90% across the board, audience and critics. So there's nothing that happened to Fede Alvarez. Maybe something happened to you for not appreciating that movie, and Jeff for not appreciating that movie. So I just say that.
Crazy.
Sure. Wayne Edwards says, seeing Jeff on Campia's show is like watching a couple in the honeymoon phase. If and when they disagree, it is so nice. None of that hot mic fire. Seriously, though, you add much needed energy there to too many yes men on Campia's show.
I have a great time with those guys. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, John's a strong personality, man. The Real Crow says the Crow's box office is going to show one thing, and that is that Rupert Sanders' biggest hit is him. Oof, I'm not saying that. Sorry, not saying that, Real Crow. Yeah, no, I'm not saying that. I'm thanks for sending the money, but I'm not saying that. If you want to get a refund, go refund it. I'll send it back to you. Chris Cabrera says, love the show, guys. With Disney era of Star Wars being a mixed bag in terms of quality, do you ever see a time where they just do a full reboot? Yes, I do. Jeff?
Of what?
A full reboot of Star Wars after this Disney era.
No.
Okay. I think we're going to get recastings for all the main actors. Luke Skywalker, Leia, Han Solo. Absolutely. People need to get ready. It's going to happen. The farther we get away from the original trilogy, the more it's going to happen. Ewok says, hey, guys, have you heard anything about The Return with Ralph Fiennes and Juliette Binoche based on the Odyssey playing a TIFF? Opens in December. Yeah, Jeff, are you going to try to angle to get to that one?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I've heard some things about it. It's a great reuniting of Ralph Fiennes and Juliette Binoche, of course, obviously from Wuthering Heights and The English Patient. So nice to see them be a part of it. Jonah Clark says, would love to see Giancarlo Esposito back in a non-villain role. Recently watched Do the Right Thing Again, and seems like a positive guy in interviews. Yeah, he is. He's a really awesome dude. I would love to see him back in a non-villain role as well. I love the campaign he has for Fiat with Spike. That's an awesome, awesome campaign. So, Jeff, would you want to see him in a non-villain role since he played so many villains lately?
I mean, yeah, range is good for everybody, but he is a great villain, so it's hard to argue.
It's true. Samuel said, thoughts on the Instigators on Apple TV. I still haven't watched it. Jeff, did you watch this Boston?
I like the Instigators. I thought, it's a streaming movie. Like, I agree. It's not really a theatrical play, but, for what it was, totally fine, like, movie to watch around 4:00 on a Sunday afternoon.
Okay. If the Boston boy says it's good, I'll watch it. Cody Hunt says, watch Sing Sing yesterday. I was moved. Never have I seen more positive masculinity by black men on film. I hope it doesn't get overlooked. 10 out of 10. Cody, I agree with you. I saw it a few weeks ago. Coleman Domingo, incredible performance, but all the real life prisoners who were actors that they got to be a part of the movie. What an incredible film. Really loved it. Jeff, have you seen Sing Sing? Did you get a chance to see this one?
I have not seen Sing Sing yet, but okay. I have a free ticket in my email. Have you heard about this?
No, I was already sent one. Like I was sent a
aren't you a fancy pants because you're in some critics organization?
Well, might be, or I think it's because I'm down here in San Diego and there aren't that many critics down here, so we get to have a little more of that kind of
stuff.
Enough.
Well, there is a site. I think Variety actually did a proper story on it, but A24 is giving away free tickets to the movie. Yeah, at participating AMC theaters. So check out that site and go get a free ticket to Sing Sing like I did, and you can use it anytime, like in the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to check it out before I go to Toronto.
It's so good. Cody, I'm glad you sent in a super chat to help us talk about it because it's an excellent film, and I hope more people see it. Comic Thing says, Tom Holland to appear in Daredevil? Do you think Euphoria being delayed is for Zendaya and now Sydney Sweeney being rumored as Black Cat in the Sony Spider-Verse to film Spider-Man 4? Do you think that's why Euphoria is being delayed or will be delayed, Jeff? Any thoughts on that?
Do I think Euphoria will be delayed because Tom Holland is doing what?
Is appearing in the Daredevil series. And
what does one have to do with the other? I'm so confused.
I think because Zendaya and Tom are seeing each other, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know what we're talking about.
But Zendaya, do you think this is going to be delayed because Zendaya's doing stuff and then Sydney Sweeney might be back as Black Cat in Spider-Man 4? Any chances on that?
Where are people pulling this fucking garbage from? What?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Next. Pass. Sorry. Next.
Last one, I think, here. Where is it? I think this is it. Oliver Number 3748 says, agree to disagree on Fede. LOL. All the potential I saw in him is gone. Really? From one movie? LOL. Romulus was underwhelming as hell. Love you guys. Have a great weekend. Come on. You got to have faith in your film directors. Everybody stumbles. So yeah. Yeah, this is the one that I was telling you about. Tom Holland to appear Daredevil. Do you think you're 40? Yeah, there we go. All right, that's it. We got to get out of here. It's 6 o'clock. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate it badly. Thanks for all the Streamlabs super chats and the lively chat in here. Jeff, tell them where they can find you.
TheInsnider.com, guys. Subscribe. Tell your parents to subscribe. The holidays are going to be upon us in a few months. Get a gift subscription or two for a friend. Makes a great gift.
I love that. Do that, people. Give them the gift that cares. And that's a consistent newsletter from Jeff Sneider every week for sure. As for me, follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, The Outlaw Nation on Twitch. Subscribe down below and hit that bell button so you see we're dropping all the content we do here. Don't forget, the Geek Buddies did our spoiler review of Alien Romulus. That is up now for you all to watch. We will have our main show up tomorrow, wrestling show up, and part 2 of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid on the Cinephiles will be dropping tomorrow for those of you who subscribe to that. So enjoy that as well. All right. Thanks so much, gang. Take care of yourselves. Be well. Have a great weekend. And we'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode of The Hot Mic. Peace.